Hey guys, here we go again. I'm trying to get you guys started rather than taking notes, trying to push you guys in the right direction. So if we look at this piece again, I highlighted the measurement of error. Okay, so they're giving us some sort of error here. Is normally distributed. So now we're talking about they give us the idea that it's normal, so we know what kind of shape it looks like, and once we know the shape, they give us the mean and the standard deviation. So at this point right there, they give us a mean and a standard deviation. You need to start thinking about what are the possibilities that they could use this for, okay? So true depth, true means what? True is not a sample. This is now a population, okay? Certain point, now we got a point of 2 feet. What is the probability? Probability has to do with what? What score does probability work with when we're dealing with mean? Remember, we're dealing with ZAP tax. Okay, so don't forget that terminology. The depth of the measurement will be negative. Okay, now this is that trick part. What does it mean? It means that the probability is less than 0. So now you got to decide what's your test statistic, what's your standard deviation, and what pieces are you going to be using? Are you going to be using ZAP or are you going to be using tax? So that's that piece. Suppose that 3 independent depth measurements are taken. This is from the newer chapter, so you're going to have to really watch out for this one. This is like the counterexample, or I can't even think of the terminology right now that we need to use, but I'll get back to you on that one. What is the probability that at least one of these measurements will be negative? So remember, it's always the whole minus 1 minus the probability of the event happening. That's all the information I'm going to give you, and then we'll talk about that here in a little bit if you guys have questions. For C, what is the probability that the mean of the 3 independent measurements taken at a point where the true depth is? So now we're talking about the mean. So now we're talking about the mean of something. So that's going to change our ZAP tax, and it's going to change our standard deviation somehow. So how does it change our standard deviation, and what becomes the probability at that point? So these stack on each other, just so you guys know. These are going to stack on each other, so the answer you get here, you're going to use here. All right? And then A, and actually I wouldn't say B stacks, I would A stacks to this one. So they're using multiple concepts in this problem, so pay attention to that piece. All right, so now we're on this next one. They give you a lot of information. Read through it. There's lots of little pieces in here, like the random sample of 150 patients. You might want to pull information out and write it on the side. They give us some information here, and then they ask us, use a 99% confidence interval to estimate the difference between the mean. So if we're using a confidence interval, we are going to do, what is our acronym? So come on now, you got to think about it. What's our acronym for actually setting up a problem? Okay. I don't know what it is. You guys are going to have to tell me what it is. What is it? Statistics, problems, demand, consistency. Okay? Statistics, problem, demand, consistency. Okay? State, plan, do, conclude. Statistics, problem, demand, consistency. So you're going to have to do that one for a confidence interval. And then this one here, this is part B. Part B is going to be based on the confidence interval. Now, if you guys remember, confidence intervals are here. Statistically significance out there. So you have to use this concept to explain your answer. Remember, we have to justify our answer. So make sure that you guys are kind of tackling that. So that's number 3 and 4 for 2006. A little bit of notes, and hopefully it'll help you in the right direction.